Hello and welcome back to Behind Marketing Lines. I'm your host Zeeshan, and today my guest is Maria Gedeon. Maria, good to see you behind Marketing Lines.
Thank you for having me, Zeeshan. I'm very excited to be here and I look forward to our conversation.
We'll start it like a Netflix movie, and I would like to ask you, what if your life was a Netflix movie? So, what is it called, and what's the opening scene like?
Perhaps I'll call it Humps and Bruises because I'm known to love a little bit of thrill and speed. I'm an avid skier, so the opening scene is me coming down a black slope on a mountain in Switzerland or in Italy and hitting a few bumps and some mogul skiing and potentially getting back on my feet, having identified all the obstacles before going down and then just making it down in record speed.
Interesting.
That resembles me quite a lot.
I already like it. I mean, it's like how the Fast and Furious would start or Need for Speed would start.
Yeah, to a certain extent, the girl version.
Awesome. And what if your life was a book? What would be the title and which chapter we are at right now?
If we were to talk about, the era where we are, I would say it's a lot about transformation and growing up. I've spent my whole life hustling and grinding and, fighting for the next big role. And when I decided to do my own thing, it took a lot of courage. I was very lost at the beginning, but, it's been 3 years and I'm finding my feet and I love what I'm doing. And I finally, as a person and as an organization, found or identified why I'm here and what I like doing. And I think the title is probably going to be Growing and Transforming People and Places, which is what I enjoy doing on a personal level, but also what I love doing on a professional level. Yeah, I think I would probably call it that. And yeah, we're in a very critical phase, a lot of unknown. I kind of jumped ship without knowing what to expect, but I'm very grateful. So a lot of lessons and learnings, and I'm very happy where I am.
Awesome. So now we know which chapter we are at in your book. I would love to know your origin story. How did you get into marketing? I mean, when I look at your LinkedIn, you have accomplished a lot in your life. So how did it all start?
I have a very non-typical, non-linear marketing career.
Right.
I don't have any pedigree brands. I don't have any Ivy League universities. I started my career as an entrepreneur. At the age of 18, I told my father I wanted to not go to Paris to study economics, to open events and experiential marketing agency. He laughed because he's an engineer, and for him, I needed to be a doctor, a lawyer, or an engineer to be successful. A little bit of the old school Middle Eastern mentality. I convinced him to give me the money he had saved to send me to Paris to open the company. And I did. I don't even remember how I did it. I was a child, but it got me into the world of brands and marketing. And we were working very closely with a lot of global brands as a very small boutique agency, which opened my eyes to what marketing would be and what it means to grow brands and to activate brands. So I decided to, because I needed the official paper, I decided to go to art school. So I studied to be an art director.
Interesting.
So I have a brain that is 50% analytical and 50% creative, which is a little unusual. It can be great, but it can also be really bad. You will know in marketing. My design team really hated me at times, but other times we had great fun brainstorming together. And that's how it started. And then in 2006, the war hit in Lebanon. Everything came to a standstill. I didn't necessarily know what to do. We were exploring opening the company in the Gulf somewhere, potentially the UAE. And then a family friend is one of the founders of Masdar, the renewable energy company in Abu Dhabi. And they were launching the World Future Energy Summit.
Right.
So it was the inaugural launch. They had just appointed an exhibitions and conferences company called Turret Media to run it. And this is where I met my first mentor and one of my absolutely favorite people, who's like a godfather to me now, Richard Heath, who gave me enormous opportunities. I mean, as a startup, we were involved in pretty much everything. We were a small company. We grew so much, and the conference became so big that we sold it to another very large exhibition organizer. And then I moved over to the consumer side of the business. So we did things like Taste of Dubai, Taste of Abu Dhabi, the Christmas Fair, a motorsports exhibition. That's how I started. This is the background. And slowly I started, wanting more, and I wanted to grow. And it was a small company. It's probably where I learned most of the marketing that I know today. So a lot of it has been learned by doing and by reading and by just jumping into the unknown and taking risks, which I'm sure by now you realize it resembles my personality. And, after that, the rest is history. And then I joined Mubadala to do the transformation and the turnaround of Zayed Sports City. And then from then I moved over to Majid Al Futtaim and then to Shaloub. And now I'm on my own, which is, really, really good.
Awesome. It's quite a story, and I think it's definitely an inspiration for all the, marketers or the aspiring marketers out there. So did you have any formal education in marketing as well?
At my art school and university, there was a lot of technical classes around brand building and marketing, since it was always about brands and promoting brands and campaign management and so on. So there was a very big element of the business side and the marketing side, but I did study everything around design and brand building and identities, but from a creative perspective. But because I started my career as an entrepreneur and I learned the basics of business on my own, I felt like this gave me a very good platform to learn on my own and understand what I need to do. So I started thinking as a business owner rather than as a marketer, which forced me to look at, both sides of the coin, how we're making money, how we're driving the business, which I believe is extremely important for any marketer to be able to speak the board language, the business language, to be able to articulate what they do and translate those into real impact. So a lot of what I learned was on the go. I did a lot of reading because I had the imposter syndrome at the beginning. I had a marketing manager title and I had never done any marketing before. So I was learning from colleagues. I was very fortunate to have a fantastic colleague. I'm going to name her. Her name is Sarita. She got me super passionate about marketing. She has also a phenomenal career. Maybe she could also be invited to be on 100%. Your podcast. And it's actually thanks to her and Richard, the owner of the company and my first mentor, and just the support network and books and the internet that I, learned how to grow. And I think I was very fortunate to be working for companies like Mubadala and Majid Al Futtaim, where talent development is a key component of what they give you.
Right.
So I learned so much with these two companies. It was better than an executive MBA because you were working for juggernauts, but at the same time, you were delivering on what they were expecting you to deliver. So you had to be agile, you had to learn fast, you had to fail quickly. So it's a bit unusual. I didn't grow up the Procter & Gamble, Ivy League kind of route. But I guess I still made it somehow, I think.
And you did pretty well. And why I asked this question is because a lot of people come to me and they say, we never studied marketing, right? And how do you expect us to do this? Because at times in companies that I've worked with or the clients that I've worked with, a lot of people land into marketing having not studied marketing. And to them, I tell them, I studied marketing, but when I started implementing it, it was way different than what I studied. I studied it in bachelor's, my specialization was marketing. In master's, I'm almost a PhD in the same field.
Wow.
But the academia is on one side and the practice is on a different side altogether.
Yeah, you're very right.
I mean, I'm glad that, your answer was very close to what I keep on telling people around me, that you don't necessarily need to have, formal education in marketing to be a good marketer.
Absolutely agree.
What if we zoom into your daily life today and, how does a day in your life looks like?
You want the chaotic answer or you want the organized answer?
I think I would love to have both versions.
I'm a mom of two little girls who keep me on my toes. They're very smart, like their dad. And it's a full-time job to be a parent. And now
course.
that I've decided to spend a little more time with my children, I really have to wear both hats. We wake up at 6:45, have breakfast, put the first one in the first bus, second one in the second bus,
Right.
and then get straight onto the agenda for the day, the calendar, what's going on, where I need to be. I work from different places, primarily from the office in One Central, but also from the client side. So as a consultant now, I actually spend a lot of my time at my clients. So my place of working is not set to a single place. I move around quite a bit. So I need to take traffic into account. I need to take calls into account. I don't always have a corner office. Since I left corporate, now I sit in a cubicle, which is also fine because I'm closer to the teams on the ground. So yeah, my day starts at about 8:30 and I power through until 3:30. My kids are home at this time, so I try to be home around 3:30, 4 o'clock. We do homework, we talk about the day, a lot of activities as well. They do language, sports, and then my role changes into taxi driver or chauffeur. And then I start chauffeuring the kids around until dinner time or a little bit before dinner because I have to prepare dinner. So I love to cook, which is great, but my kids don't love to eat. So we end up throwing away a lot of nice food. And then I put them to bed at around 7:30, 8 o'clock, and my new day starts again. This is where I do most of my admin for the company, because being an entrepreneur means I don't have the entire, support network and corporate services and ecosystem helping me out. I plug in the exercise as and when I have a free hour. I'm doing Pilates, which I love. It really helped after pregnancy to reset and feel better. And it's pretty much how my days look like. On the weekends, I really try to give my time to the kids, to my husband, because he's away 3 to 4 days a week. He's also a consultant, so we need to find balance with the kids. So weekends are pretty sacred usually.
My podcast is followed by a lot of aspiring marketers because back in the day, I used to do courses for the people, especially in the countries like, South Asia region, African region.
Nice.
So I have a lot of followings from there. And then I get a lot of questions as well. Like, how do you navigate your day? What happens? How do you manage so many things together? So I always ask my guests this question as well, that maybe it will help somebody out there who's aspiring to be you.
I'm going to say I'm a work in progress. I don't think I've nailed it 100% yet. And that's because I want to do everything right, but something's got to give. I can't always be the best mom and the best employee and the best accountant. So there are days where I drop the ball big time. So I think the myth of managing it all is probably very incorrect. We're human beings at the end of the day.
So true.
It's extremely important to remember that no one has superpowers and we're not superhumans. But a few tips or ways that people can actually do it is compartmentalizing and being organized. So the fact that I have every single half-hour engagement in my calendar helps me to stay on point. Integrity is my biggest value, so I like to be on time when I give people my time and when they take my time. So the fact that I'm pretty punctual means that I can make it through the day. And then God bless Dubai for all of the amazing services that we have here.
That's
I think we're very fortunate to be living in a city where everything is at your doorstep within 15 minutes. Big shout out to Noon Minutes that I love. I think it's one of the best products I've seen recently. It's not a paid ad, I
No,
promise.
I know, and I couldn't agree more.
But I live on Noon Minutes. It saves my life every single day with food, with dinners, with the kids, and obviously all the services like Cafu, like Uber, like everything is 2 minutes away. So for a working parent is a true game changer. And we're very fortunate to be in a city that is so forward looking and that supports working parents and working families. It's about being organized and having the growth mindset, like always being adaptable. It can't always be the way you want it to be. Not being afraid to try new things and experiment is really important as well.
Yeah, thank you very much. I think that right there for the followers is a mini masterclass on how to organize your day. And I think it's going to be very useful for a lot of people out there. All right. So moving on to productivity. Again, you just mentioned that.
Yeah.
Any framework or tool that you use to, stay more productive or manage your day better? Anything that you would like to share?
Honestly, the thing I cannot live without is my phone, my
Right.
calendar, my memos. I write myself notes, sometimes voice note to two different phones to remember things. ChatGPT is one of my favorite tools. Maybe I'm a little bit too reliant on it sometimes. In that day and age, you feel like if you're not relying on AI to help you with the tedious taxiing work that can be done in an automated fashion and you're completely wanting to just do everything yourself, you would burn out. So I think I must have saved 30 or 40% of my time using smart tools. So like wanting to resist AI is definitely not the way forward. Of course, it has a lot of issues and downsides, and we can talk about it if you want, but it's a paramount that marketers learn how to prompt their AIs well, how to use it to maximize the output, how to optimize and use it in a smart way to help them with their time management and their work without it affecting the quality, of course, of what
No,
they do.
100%. And ChatGPT and other tools out there, I mean, we need to use them as our assistants, right? They need to do all the legwork for us. If we don't understand it now, I mean, I think we're wasting time for ourselves.
100%.
And interestingly, yesterday somebody sent me a prompt asking ChatGPT to roast me based on the commands that I've been giving before, right? And the first thing it said is, dude, I'm not your intern. That's how you're treating me.
Well, I fired it a few times as well, but I agree with you. I think obviously the more you give it, the more it learns about you.
True.
You know, I still treat it as a person sometimes. I say thank you and please. Even when I'm in a hurry, I feel stupid, but I do that.
And any daily routine or ritual that keeps you sharp? Anything that you would want to share?
It's more on the personal side. My sports is extremely important. It's a way for me to reset and unwind. I stopped exercising after I gave birth. It took a real toll on me. Eating clean and healthy. Of course, I'm not healthy every day, but I feel like the more I manage what I put in my body, the better I feel. And the same goes with all of the products that I use. So I try to be as kind and as possible to myself. I know it's not always easy to find the time, but I learned it the hard way, and there's no better or more important person than yourself.
No, 100%. And do you think, I mean, we are consuming ourselves more than we should? And I think because we're busy being busy, right, all the time. Either we are on the phone or we are working something. But even when we are working out, we are working. I've done that. I've seen a lot of other people do that too. So do you think we all need to slow down a little bit or somehow, change the way we are operating today? Because everything is moving so fast around us.
The world is going at a speed that is unprecedented. So stopping or taking a break for your balance is great. But you need to be organized as well. You need to have purposeful breaks. If you're on a break, you're on a break. And I've learned that if I'm with my kids, I need to be with my kids. I cannot be working. I cannot be on my phone. If I'm at the gym, my phone is away. Even if it's 45 minutes, I'm sure, no house is going to go on fire within this time. So I've made a promise to myself that even when I have 15 minutes, to eat, lunch, to exercise, to go for a walk, it's my time. Making sure you take enough breaks, you take enough holidays. At MAF, we had an amazing study, and the highest performing team members were the ones that were taking the most holidays.
Interesting.
Believe it or not. Their productivity increased, their mindset was different, they were always refreshed, they felt energized. We always joked about it, but it's actually scientifically proven. So I do recommend as many breaks and holidays as possible whilst not dropping the ball on the responsibilities that you have.
What's one thing that's keeping you exciting today? Like, what are you working on? Anything special that you would want to share?
The luxury that we have as entrepreneurs is that we can pick and choose who we work with as well. And I'm very fortunate to be working with some amazing brands and amazing clients. I don't have any favorites. I don't want to upset anyone, but one that I'm particularly fond of is the largest wellness destination in our region, opening in a few years from now.
Right.
I'm very excited to be working hand in hand with them on their launch and their opening in Dubai, because as a product it resembles me. It's about health and wellness and staying sane and taking care of yourself. So from both a personal and a professional perspective, I love the product. So I'm very excited to be working on that.
Interesting. Now we have a rapid fire round. And since you're a marketer, I have a few marketing specific questions.
You're going to trick me or what?
Not really. So, I would just want to have your take on it. Like, what would you prefer? For example, we'll start with SEO versus paid marketing.
SEO.
Brand or performance marketing?
Brand.
Creativity or data?
Both. Sorry.
Well, you got to choose one. I know
can't.
that you have
My brain
both.
is 50-50. I'm sorry.
Startup hustle or corporate structure?
Both, depending on the time in your life.
Books or podcasts?
Now podcasts.
LinkedIn or Instagram?
I love Instagram, but I'm a LinkedIn buff.
AI or human intuition?
Both.
Global campaigns or local activations?
Both, depends on your goal.
TV ads or TikTok reels?
Oh, TikTok for
Oh, you
sure.
got to choose one here.
TikTok for sure.
Working from office or remote working?
Both, I think. Flexibility is what's important, and trust.
Risk taking or playing it safe? I know the answer.
Yes, you do. Risk taking for sure.
Customer first or product first?
Customer.
Awesome. And then we have a few personal questions. For example, tea or coffee?
Big time coffee.
Early mornings or late nights?
Late nights.
Mountains or beaches?
Mountains, any day.
Reading or Netflix?
Both. More Netflix now, because when I have a moment to read something, I'd rather be reading work stuff. So I just, want to relax on Netflix.
Solo trips or group travel?
I don't have a choice. At this stage in my life, I would say group.
Are you a minimalist or a collector?
I'm a collector of certain things.
Interesting. And finally, city life or countryside?
A countryside for sure.
We'll move on to a few questions that are related to marketing again.
Go ahead.
If your career was a marketing campaign, what would the tagline be?
Growing and transforming people and places, which is kind of my founding purpose and what I stand by.
Today, you have given so many pieces of advice to a lot of people out there. What's one piece of advice that you received in your life and that stick with you?
I'm going to sound a little bit cheesy, like the advice they give you on the plane. Wear your oxygen mask before you give it to anyone else, including your children. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of others. And I thought it was selfless to just put everyone and everything first. But I realized very quickly that unless I was sane and I kept looking after myself too, then I couldn't look after everybody else. So it's really important to also think about yourself and staying healthy in your body and in your mind.
I totally agree with it. And I think we need to give ourselves this reminder quite often because everything revolves around us at the end of the day, right?
Absolutely.
And to be able to do things for the people around us, we need to be in the right state of mind and health and, everything else.
Agreed.
If you had to describe your journey so far in 3 words, what those 3 words would be?
Bravery, generosity, and empathy.
Right.
If I could add one, I would add resilience, because this is how I got to where I am today. If I didn't hustle every single day of my life, I wouldn't be where I am. But I also know that I'm not, perhaps it's also a bit selfish. I don't feel fulfilled unless I give. I'm a giver by nature. And this is where I was talking about, looking after yourself, because there were stages in my life and career where I gave a lot more than I took. And it wasn't necessarily the healthiest stage of my life.
I can imagine. And you must have worked with a lot of marketers throughout your journey, right? Some were mentoring you, some were working with you, some were working for you. So, what's one trait in marketers that you always look for and you say, okay, if somebody is having this particular trait, they're a good marketer?
I would say, curiosity, but if I had to go a little bit deeper, I would say know your people.
Right.
And by people, I mean customers, stakeholders, colleagues. The more you learn about the humans that you're working with, the more you can tailor what you give them. At the end of the day, a product is a product, but unless you know who you're selling that product to, unless you know who you're negotiating a contract with, unless you know who you're mentoring or who you're looking up to. So to me, it's tools, methodologies, tech, AI, it changes all the time. It's not about the hard skills. It's more about the softer side, staying empathetic. Yeah, just knowing exactly who you're talking to, whether it's your target audience or anyone else for that matter.
100%. And I think it's true for all the industries. I mean, I work for financial services and we have a thing called KYC, Know Your Customer. And that's a very important document, right? So I think it's equally important for marketers.
You know too much about me already, but but yes, I agree with you.
When you're hiring, do you hire for skills or do you hire for attitude?
Culture.
Culture.
Not skills, not attitude. You can teach skills. Of course, if you're hiring a doctor, you're not going to hire a plumber and ask him to perform a surgery.
True.
But of course, there's a minimum skill set required. But I would prefer to hire anyone who has closer values to the organization, better culture that fits the organization. So to me, it's about hiring people for culture any day and then upskilling them and developing them in the areas where I feel they can make a difference and add value.
Interesting. And before hiring them, how do you gauge that?
It's really important when you have done all the work around your brand and the strategy to know what, as a brand and an organization, you stand for. And just like, a brand has values, as humans, we have values too. Respect the brands that are true to their values, whether they are aligned with mine or not. So the same goes with any organization I work with. If I feel like this person's values are a good match and they're not going to be compromised, because you don't want them to stress about the fact that their values are compromised, then they won't give you the amount of effort that they need to give you, the passion, the love. So for me, it all starts with being aligned with the purpose, the essence, the values of an organization. And I know that some names or big names can sound very appealing or very sexy, but often it's the places and the jobs that burn the people the most. I mentor a lot of young marketers, and I see that. It's definitely great to have on your CV, and it's great to aspire because you will learn from these places. So it's a good place to start when you still have the resilience. But once it starts to affect you and your values and your morale, it's time to check out.
100%, I totally agree with you. All right, moving on to a different question. So what if you were to put a billboard out there on Sheikh Zayed Road tomorrow? What are you going to put on it and what are you going to write on it? And this is all about you.
If anything, I would just say be kind. So many global events that we can't control, but there are many that we can control, and we're being dragged into so many negative events and so much noise that could be avoided if people thought twice before doing what they're doing. I'd love for the world to be kinder and more empathetic. That would be a good way to start.
Thank you for saying that. And finally, what's next for you? What's your sequel?
So I want to keep growing Gedeon Mohr and Partners. It's where my heart is. I love the few mentees that I have. I love to see them grow. So I will keep mentoring young marketers for as long as I have the time and as long as I can. I want to, keep my marketing hat for as long as I can. It's the area that I like the most. Again, it's no longer just marketing. It's evolved to so much more than that. And yeah, I'm still going to continue to do my board roles and wear my board hats whenever I can. And yeah, supporting women is a big part of what I do as well. So I'm a part of an organization called the International Women Board of Directors that empowers and grows women and encourages them to, sit on board, speak up.
Awesome. Good to know. Well, I think we come towards the end of our session today. It was a very interesting conversation, a lot of advice. We got to know you. I mean, there's a version of Maria we see on LinkedIn, and there is this version right here. Well, thank you very much for everything you do.
I hope that it wasn't a fake version you saw on LinkedIn.
I'm pretty sure it's not. I think both connect. They
That's
definitely
good.
do.
Makes me happy.
Because meeting you here for the first time behind marketing lines, of course, because this is where untold stories are, revealed. We sit together and we discuss things which we usually don't, right? In the interviews, we don't say that. The effort the marketers have to put through to, go through the day, right? Probably that, or how we started, how we got into it. Everybody has a different story, and I think there is always something to learn from those stories.
And that's why one of my biggest advice was learn and know your people, whoever they are, whether they're customers, friends, peers, neighbors. It's the only way you can adapt the way you engage with them. That makes you a very different type of marketer or leader anywhere you are.
Anything else you would want to share, you would want the future marketers to know, or the current marketers to take care of?
Well, I want to thank you for putting this podcast together. It takes a lot of effort and guts and hard work and pitching to speakers. A lot of people I know have and want to do it, but not everyone has had the courage to do it. So congratulations on being able to pull that off. That's fantastic. And thank you for having me. It's been a real pleasure. I hope it does make a difference in someone's life if they're listening.
No, it will definitely make difference in a lot of people's lives. Well, thank you for tuning into Behind Marketing Lines. We'll see you in the next episode.